welcome to 6 is 1. This week we had a couple of podcast series that ended up with an echo due to some technical difficulties. We have those sorted out, but unfortunately the episode that you're about to listen to will have a bit of an echo. I apologize in advance, and we will work to make a better product going forward. Thank you.
Friday nights during the fall. Six-man fans gather to watch a sermon of grit and determination be delivered by 6 men, 10 minutes at a time, 4 quarters a night. Here you'll find the quarterback is also the linebacker and the kicker, where iron sharpens iron, where hard work pays off, and where 6 are 1. Now for your host of 6 is 1, Coach Goldman.
Welcome back to 6 is 1. This morning I have with us Coach Braun with Stephenville Faith and former head coach over there. Coach, how are you doing this morning?
I'm good. I'm doing very good this morning. Thank you.
It's kind of new, that title, former head coach.
It is. I've been there for a while, so it's taking some adjustment, but I'm getting there.
So I always ask folks to kind of help me out by stepping through, what got into this crazy game of six-man football. I mean, did you grow up with it? Is it something that you just moved into? So how you got there? Give us a little understanding of your journey.
So I actually grew up playing 11-man football. I wasn't familiar with 6-man at all. I grew up in Springtown, up north of Rutherford, in the Metroplex, and actually had seen 8-man football in Oklahoma a little bit, so I was aware of like smaller scale football. But we homeschool here in Stephenville, Texas. We homeschool and there was no sports, and so we kind of made a push with our family, saying, hey, we're probably gonna go to school to play sports, or we need to find a way for our kiddos to get involved in something. So it's kind of a neat story. I mean, it was one meeting, it was one discussion in a group setting, and my wife brought up the point that, hey, the Brauns are pretty interested in sports if anyone else is. Well, our president for the Faith homeschool group kind of took that and ran with it, and Cody Martin, who was our original coach, she ran into him, and he was interested in getting involved in TCAL at the time, to maybe put a team together, and he was interested, and so he kind of just got our feet wet and real quick threw a team together, and he was an 11-man guy. And so the first year my son played junior high, but I kind of watched from a distance. I'd been coaching my kids in every sport they played since they were little, so that second season I got drug into it as a defensive coordinator, and I didn't know anything about 6-man football. So literally watching video, a little shocked by some of the scores. The first game I ever watched was 112 to 98 or something, and I was like, wow, that's not 11-man football for sure. But just kind of learned it as we went, and I guess I should say selfishly, I wanted my kids to have a good experience, so I coached and got into it that way. And a couple of seasons later, I took over as the head coach, and that was 6 years ago. So I guess I've been the head coach of Stephenville for 6 seasons. But it started as we wanted my kids to have an opportunity to play sports, and then we were committed to homeschooling, and so we put this team together and got involved, and then eventually moved over to TAIAO, be part of the organization there, and so that's how I got into it. I was 11-man, just kind of learned 6-man from videos and picking other coaches' brains, and then kind of piece together what kind of the program we have today.
Yeah. So tell me, Coach, did you have how many sons?
I actually have 7 children total. Okay. My big 4, I call them, are my biological kids. Right. My little 3 are adopted. So I have 4 sons total. 2 of them have worked all the way through the program. My third son, he's 14 now, and he's a basketball guy. Loves basketball. So as of right now, he's exclusively basketball. So we'll see if that sticks as he gets a little older. But as of today, he's a basketball guy. So I've stepped away and handed off to other folks while he kind of pursues his basketball dream.
Hats off to you on that. So we're new. I love the term biological, by the way. I think that is just an awesome term because we just adopted Ezra last week. So we have 2-year-olds.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So 2-year-olds. We're new on
But when they would tell us, CPS would come in, these are your biologicals. I just love that term. I was like, no longer do I have to use a numbering system. I can just say biologicals.
We have our big four, the babies, the littles. We have all kinds of nicknames for the it's kind of like my second family. Nick's 14. He's my youngest biological. 3 babies, or 2 of them are 6 and 1 is 7. So they're kind of a whole reboot to my life. To start with little ones again. But
that's what we're doing. So we've got the littles, right? And so I find that funny that you bring that up. Yeah, I just love that term. People look at you weird too, and you're just like,
it is. If you're not in it, seeing it, and feeling it, and doing it, there's a lot to it that people probably don't appreciate or understand. But you have to,
so now the program itself. I mean, tell me a little bit, because you're out there in West Texas, where the cusp of it. I've learned, growing up, I spent a lot of my time in Brady, Texas. I would always consider that West Texas, but nobody does. You got to get out past San Angelo to be officially West Texas, right? I don't know how much just dirt there is around you.
Right.
But when you're out there, I mean, you got a lot of great six-man programs that are out your way. Give me a little bit about some of the history that you had in scheduling, especially early on. I mean, right now when we schedule, and we're in a cosmopolitan area, and a lot of these are private schools, a lot of them are homeschool leagues. It's a little bit easier because, but you out there, I'm going to guess that more than likely than not, you're having to find some public schools and some charter schools, something of that nature, and it can be difficult for first learning and get people to schedule you. Do you have any problems that way?
You can have trouble. Some, I mean, some schools don't like playing homeschool programs. I mean, I've heard a lot of. I mean, they cheat. We play year round, we recruit players, and they don't want to play you, or they just don't take you serious. They don't think that you're a real program. We've kind of seen, both extremes. With our experiences, and this is my fuss. There's a lot of little teams around here to play. There's a lot of six-man football teams in our area, and for some reason we're in Austin and San Antonio. It feels like every weekend, but we can stay closer. And at first we weren't healthy. We were learning our way. We were just trying to figure out what six-man football looked like. It didn't take long till we got our legs under us, and we were competitive with UIL schools. It's been important to me. I mean, you can see it around here. So we live in Stephenville, Texas, with the Stephenville Yellow Jackets, and they take football very seriously here. In some ways, I think our success has made us seem like our leagues just aren't legitimate. They win every year. How hard could it be? So we've always tried to put as many good teams as we could find locally to play us, just to build the level of respect, honestly, to say, hey, we compete with UIL schools, we do well, we win sometimes, we win often. We have found almost that the better that we've gotten, the less teams want to play us. And there's a lot to lose. I mean, you're especially a respectable UIL program, and you're playing the Bastrop's and the Feasts and the Thesis and the Stephenville Faith, and it's a tough game to lose. It's not a fun game to lose to a homeschool team. And we played Zephyr around here, and Gordon and Gorman, and then some of the good teams around here, and it's scheduling. It's more and more gotten, I think, to where we stick to most the TAIAO teams and dabble in a few UIL schools. We try to kind of predict how good we're going to be, to make sure we're competitive and playing teams that are competitive with us and not getting beat up too bad by some of these powerhouses around here. But we have seen some ebb and flow in the scheduling where I do think every year it tends to get a little harder. Teams that used to play us all the time won't play us anymore, and that kind of thing. And we end up traveling probably more than we'd like. But we have seen some trouble scheduling. But there's a lot of little schools around here that'll play us, and so it works out pretty good. We try to have a little diversity. You can get in a rut, I think, of playing the same teams all the time, and that's just not fun. I enjoy when we get a new program we've never seen before. Us over here. We try to get a couple of new teams.
That's actually there's a lot to be said for having leagues and playing in your leagues, and you get comfortable and you understand that it makes it a different aspect, right? Coaching, because you kind of know the tendencies of the people you're playing, and I certainly
I'm a fan of that, having the championship play. But I agree with you. It's adjusting your schedule each year. And you said something I thought was to kind of assess your talent, where you are. Are you a younger program, or are you an older program, and trying to find teams where you can be competitive. I think that's the what I think, at least from my aspect, that's what I try to do. Right, try to figure out, because even the players, if you're, I always use the windshield bug. I mean, the year that you're the windshield, you don't want to go around just smashing on bugs, and that's just fun. And the converse too, you don't want to go out there and just get. I can't remember, there was a team a couple of years ago, and I talked to the coach, and I'll leave him off. I now remember, but I'm going to leave it off. He's new to six-man. I mean, his schedule was, as he's trying to schedule us, he said he had feast, and he had, I mean, pretty much just every hard school you can imagine. And I was like, and you want to add us to that? Really, if you really have that week still open, maybe come out. I was like, I'm not going to. You're going to be lucky. By week 6, if you still have 6 guys,
that's the truth, too. You worry about that. It's like, if you can even hold it together, really as a new program, I think they just didn't know. They're calling looking for games, and like you said, by the time they got to us, and I saw their schedule, our game ended up getting canceled because of weather. I was like, wow, for a new program, that is a tough schedule. Yeah. And, boys get discouraged. They get injured. I mean, it's hard to play those games every week.
And there's another thing you said, I think, that it would be helpful. This idea that, and especially in our league, that, if you're in the public schools and you paid, you're paid to win, you're paid to, I guess they would say they're paid to teach, and they're really teachers.
Sure. But
I mean, they don't want to, take on. But I will say that the coaches that have good programs, they're probably having some of the same problems. I can see the Richland Springs, the Zephyrs, the Garden Cities trying to find programs to play as well. Even with, I think it's more just. This idea that, because I know they have a hard time scheduling it, and are looking, but the one thing about TAIAO that I liked about it when we got in is that we can now say and more private schools that do this and can debunk that homeschool myth to say, look, we're not year-round football players, although I don't understand how the heck you could even be that, but anyway, I see it in some of the other sports, basketball, maybe baseball, but and that we follow all the UIL rules, and that's what I would think that these, if anybody's in a non-UIL program, is you say, look, we're going to follow the UIL guidelines, then and we're going to hold ourselves accountable by those, then we're even in terms of, the only differentiator would be size, and we break ours the same way. The larger your program is, the more, and we do it not based on the size of the school, but based on the size of the number of players, right? So I think in some ways that's even more legit, because I was talking to Coach with one of the charter schools, and I didn't realize they had like 400 or 500 students,
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And they were D1, but when they showed up with 15 football, 14 football players.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, because they're the size of the school, they're D1, but they don't play, they're predominantly soccer kind of school. And, all their best athletes are soccer players, it's all soccer, everything, it's kind of the school runs around soccer. And, that gentleman, he's got a tough road to hoe playing D1 with 13 players, right?
Mm-hmm.
So... anyway, because that's where they are based upon just because of the size of their school.
Sure.
But now tell me a little bit about the out there in West Texas, and you are playing some of those public schools. Give me a little bit about what your players, the environment. Is it just different when you show up at a Garden City or Zephyr or Gordon or Iredell than it is, showing up to try.
It is sometimes. I think Zephyr is a good example. Excuse me. We played them this last year, and there was nobody there. We get excited about those games because we usually play with parents sitting in lawn chairs along the sidelines or, bleachers that go 3 seats high. And so when we go to a stadium like Zephyr, we're always pretty excited, but I don't know if it's just expectations like, hey, they're just playing a little homeschool, so it's not a big deal. I think the most fun we ever had, we would go to Gorman. We've been there a couple of times, and they have a band and the whole 9 yards. You really feel like you're at that classic high school football game with the band playing. They fill their bleachers up. I mean, top to bottom, side to side. So we've enjoyed those games a lot. Iredell, a lot of energy at Iredell. So those are the places we like going. Those games are always tough. So it's always kind of a big week for us. So, yeah, we've enjoyed those games a lot. And some of the homeschool venue, and it's really fun. I'll play in a pasture with some Lions. I've never thought a lot about it. I never lost all sleep over the quality of the stadium we're in. I just go and we play our game and do our thing. But it can be kind of high energy going to some of these bigger stadiums. And, I don't know if you've ever been to Zephyr Stadium. It's just, it's gorgeous. They have the nice turf and it's pretty exceptional. So we enjoy those trips. But we play a 3-way. It's where we started playing the last couple of years. It's actually a great little stadium, so we've been pretty proud of that. But you bet. I think Iredell's been one of my favorites. Of course, we've had good success out there, so that's part of it. But those fans are pretty intense. I mean, they have the big horn that goes off when they score, and it's just a really electric environment over there. So yeah, we enjoy some of the bigger UIL schools just for that reason. It brings people out, and there's bands, and there's enthusiasm that you don't always get, at all of our games.
Yeah, that's true. And I don't, the cheerleader aspect's the one that, if you really want to, some of the homeschool programs have their own cheerleader. They have their own cheerleaders. So I'm not going to knock homes, but our program, that's not. So I can tell you right now that if you want to distract 17, 18-year-old men who aren't used to having cheerleaders around, I'm always like, really? I'm like, can we? Do you mind not bringing your cheerleaders out for this game? Because that's not something that at least our program is used to.
So not ours either. Yeah, we tried a cheerleading thing at first, and it just got kind of overwhelming and kind of just petered out, But yeah, I know. Yeah, it's noticeable, and that's the stuff that brings the energy. It's the stuff that's unique. That's kind of fun and different. I know exactly what you're talking about. It's a different world for our boys that just aren't used to.
Yeah, sort of thing. We were out at Garden City last year in kind of invitational thing, and played Sterling City. And the guys, when they came out on that field, it was a lot like Zephyr's field, turf, six-man field, big horn, and all the rest. And they were just in awe.
Wide-eyed.
I was like, it's a little different out here. So, but that was it's a great environment. And what I like about and maybe you can talk a little bit about this is putting teams, stretch teams on your schedule. I mean, first, and what are the benefits of that? Why would you do it? Because I know you've done it for years. What do you see as the rationale for putting teams on your schedule that you go out there, you might be a 45-point dog the first time. So what's your thought process there?
We had a season. We played for a couple of years, and actually our schedule was really fitting of our team. We had a lot of good games, and we lost a couple games a year, which I thought was about the right pace to be, that kind of competition. I mean, I kind of question sometimes, unless you're really, really legitimate, if you're undefeated, and you're not, a top 15 team, you probably don't have the right schedule together. But we put a schedule together thinking our team wouldn't be that great, and they were. Our offense was just high end, and we just killed everybody. Every game was 45 points. Every game was, and it just, the season wasn't fun. It just wasn't challenging. It didn't feel right. And it's like, well, sure, we're tearing people up, and but it's just the seniors didn't get to play hardly because the games were over so fast. And I just knew it wasn't right. I just knew it wasn't the right fit. We had put Gorman on our schedule that year. They was the first year they played six-man, thinking, well, they'll be struggling as a six-man, but they weren't. They were good. But thank goodness we had those 2 games. We played them twice. Those were our only 2 losses. And they were undefeated, and we lost to them the first time we played them, because we made some bad mistakes late. We were up by a couple of scores. But, we learned so much more about ourselves in those games than we did, and all those others combined. So we always worked hard for that, to make sure we're challenging our teams and making sure we understand. I think any coach will tell you, if you go and you beat everybody by 45 points and you get in the state championship and you're down, I mean, you're ill prepared. You're not ready for the adversity. And what a great example. I mean, the game we played with you guys a few years ago. Yeah. The other game that we were down in that game in the fourth quarter, I think we were losing. But we played tough games. We played high-end quality teams, and had been pushed before. And, when you're used to just killing people, you just, I don't know, I think you get a little wide-eyed. You get that little seed of doubt, a little seed of wonder when that happens, and it can hurt you. So I've always been about, it's fun to go undefeated. That's always your one of your goals, but that's never the goal. I think if you're doing your schedule right, you're going to run into some teams that push you and maybe even beat you. So I've always been about let's be challenged. I mean, I think we get better, not to just get all the old coaching cliches, but I mean, you're just going to grow a lot more in that adversity than you are when everything works. Every play you run, we've had games where our spread back getting tackled one time. I'm like, we did not get better today. I mean, it's So I'm all about growing, and ramping up to that last game of the season is always the goal. And some losses along the way usually mean you're doing it right. Usually mean you're pushing your team, to get ready for the games that really matter, in my opinion.
I think that's good. That's good advice. I agree with you. I'm learning more and more about that's the difficulty, right? Of scheduling. It's a little bit easier in sports like basketball or baseball, where you can throw 30-something teams on a schedule or 20-something teams on a schedule. But when you're trying to pick your 10 teams a year out, and then that's and you're picking those teams before you have you even know how many people are going to be in the spring ball, right? So I mean, it is a bit of a juggling act, and and then you get sometimes, unfortunately, teams will have to drop, and
some teams don't schedule you at all, and some teams that would be a perfect fit now they won't play you, and so
But it is that balance. I think that's the same for a lot of it. I don't think that's league dependent or size, D1 versus D2. I think and I will say that as a we've been D2 like you most of our program's history. I always it's easier, and I can see that now. It's much easier to find those teams to challenge yourself, because you go pick out D1 teams. I mean, by and large, you're going to be assured that if you go play a D1 team, you're going to get a pretty good game. So that was easy. I can see now, experiencing for the first time being in D1, that it can be a little bit more difficult, because it's not like there's not D a half that you can step up to.
Right. There's you're going big UIO schools to get to compete with. Yep.
Yeah, and I mean, so I get but when you look across the board and you see the championship UIL D1 programs and D2 programs, they are scheduling each other. They are scheduling, and that's you have to, because you need to know where you are, and where you are week 1 should not be where you are week 10 or 11. And so I think that's too often. I don't know if coaches make the players make the mistake of thinking and looking at what a team looked like early. I try not to show film when I can of early in the season, when I'm trying to assess another team, because I was talking to another coach the other day. I mean, and we talked about this offline. One injury, especially in D2, can just completely change the whole nature of your team, offensively and defensively. So why don't you talk a little bit about that, Coach? Because I know you've had some guys get dinged up. So what is your thought process on how do you prepare when you're running with, say, 10 to 14 players, to get prepared for, schematically or defensively? Just what are the things that you would say you focus on to make sure that you have redundancy, given the injury bug?
Yeah, it's a great question. So like they usually run as a D2 team. I mean, we can usually field. We've been pretty blessed. We'll have 3 or 4. 3 really, really good players. 1 or 2 pretty good players. 1 or 2 decent players. And you we've been very blessed. We've had some injuries, but never to guys that have really put us in a really terrible bind. We've been close to that guys come out of games and then hoped everything was good and he's playing next week. But our practices, if you watch me coach, I'm kind of a big bear. I probably look angry. I probably sound angry. I'm pretty vocal. My practices are not like that. Our practices are very relaxed. They're very laid back. If we're working hard and getting stuff done, we laugh a lot. We have a good time. I have a very quick whistle at practice. We actually very rarely go full speed, full tackle, just because we just don't have the depth to be out there beating on each other. I know we played Iredell. We played them 3 different times. Second time we played them, the week we played them, and they were good. It was going to be a big game. It was going to be a good game. Their top 2 players got injured. One broke a leg, and one ruptured a spleen at practice.
Oh, wow.
They were going so hard, so intense, and the coach kind of bragged about how physical they are at practice. I'm like, wow, we are just the opposite. I worry about, are we going to be physical enough in the games? Are we going to tackle well enough? Are we going to, is it going to translate okay? Because at practice, we don't go full speed. We go over how to tackle, we go over how I expect it to be done. And I tell them, as long as we're doing it right in the game, as long as you guys are working hard, practices will stay like they are, But if you don't do it right, we're going to have no choice but to ramp up the physicality, ramp up the intensity. But they've always responded really well. But you bet the bigger part of what we do is manage those injuries. I mean, I've always got a couple guys that I can't sacrifice at all. That if I lost one of them, it would be tragic. The only worry, that it would really hurt. But so we manage that a lot with a quick whistle at practice. We go through it, a lot of detail on how it's supposed to be done and where you're supposed to be standing and, angles. And, I'm a very, very detailed coach. I like every guy for every step to be with purpose, to the right spot, and always go in the right direction. So we work on a lot of that stuff. But, in the games we try to get through games quicker sometimes against teams that are more physical. A lot of parents are like, hey, why isn't my kid playing, and he'll be a little guy on the sidelines. And I'm like, well, it's because this team is losing to us by 50 points. There's 2 guys out there that can injure your son. If I put him out there, he's going to be in a bad spot. So I try to just be aware of all of that for these guys getting hurt and then getting in over their head a little bit. But we manage it with a quick whistle practice, and in the games, I just, try to be that team that's the aggressor. I'm a big believer in the team that's doing the hitting, the team that's likely to get injured. So I kind of put all that stuff in place, and it's mostly entirely worked out. We had a boy break his arm this last year, and it cost us. He came back for the playoffs, but he'd been out for I think it was 6 weeks he missed, and he just was not back in a groove. And in the state championship it showed, and it was his injury was quietly just a real backbreaker for us. But, historically we've been good, but we got a little bit this year, and it was part of our demise, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, that I guess 3 years ago, as I mentioned to you, we were finding that, when we had I think 13 players, and when Grant went down, I don't know, 1 minute into the start of the championship game, that just... We had no answer for that, in terms of, I mean, it was a competitive game, but I don't think, nobody on film you wouldn't see it as much. I mean, we had a number of mishandled balls that never happened. I mean, just, or statistically would not have happened.
Yes.
But that's just those little things like that you keep players in key positions, and, and I'm with you. We are a very quick whistle team. I just don't see. I tell you, Coach, here's the one that just, you want to talk about getting a burr in my saddle. Is this whole 4 days of no helmets? I'm like, we don't do anything where guys can get near each other. In that 4 days, because I have too often, because you can't tell them to dial it back. You can't tell them not to play. If you're going to do any kind of one-on-ones, even if you're putting a defensive back on a receiver, and you're just they're going to collide.
Get competitive, and
and they're going to hit. And the first thing that's going to get smacked is somebody's head and somebody's thigh, and here I am with a concussed kid just simply because I just think, can we do that 2 days? How about one? I'm going to maybe get out there and start lobbying for, move it from 4 to 3, and then I'll be that coach out there next year. Can we move it to 2?
I agree. We've seen kids just growing up around here. Flag football is a big deal, and guys getting concussions and stuff and colliding. And sometimes I feel like they're just as exposed to danger without those helmets on and some pads. But I know exactly what you mean.
Much more. The insurance on it, I had to insure that on a youth league. It's more expensive to insure a youth flag football team than it is a tackle team.
Mm-hmm. I'm not totally surprised by that. Yeah, there's some exposure there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Because they run around and hit each other in the face,
They do. These big guys are competitive. I mean, they only kind of know, you can kind of be like, hey, guys, let's not get crazy today, and it just will escalate. At first it's good, but by the time we're done, they're beating the tar out of each other. Yeah. Like, that wasn't really the goal today, but I guess. But, they will. I mean, we'll go through times where, our best competition is what we see at practice, with each other. Mm-hmm. And they'll they don't like losing to each other, so they'll amp it up pretty good.
I'm a big fan of doing away with the whole no helmet thing. We're in shells. I don't think if we have to put full pads on during the season, that means we're not taking care of business. And players don't like, at least from our full practice. And I try to remember as well that football is not everything here, right? So they have other things that hopefully their studies, things that they need to be taken care of, and you don't need to be beat up and so darn tired you can't, function enough to do your homework.
Our practices are fun. I mean, I personally, I like to have fun. I'm a pretty relaxed guy. I like to win. And so, my joke's always been, it's fun to win. I mean, there's, let's work hard, let's play hard, let's do our thing, but we've always had good time at practices, and I can look back and see so many really great moments and a lot of laughter at practice, and, building those relationships at practice, when you're having a good time is what allows me to be a big bear in the games and have high expectations and have them respond. I mean, you build that relationship and man, they'll run through a wall for you, and so we've always had a good formula. We keep those practices safe and relaxed and working hard and learning a lot. And then if it translates well to the game, everyone's happy and we're winning. And that formula has been pretty steady.
And to your credit, Coach, 2 different leagues, or 3 different, I don't know if you were 2 different leagues. TAIAO, was it 6 out of 7 title games, 6 wins.
I guess it's 8 straight. 8 straight title games, and we won 7 of them.
7 of them, there you go. That's just an amazing run of success. And really, I think probably one of the more interesting elements of that was moving from D2 up to D1. Being able to continue with that level of success, and then, of course, stepping back because your program has so many of them do fluctuate with the size of the number of players.
It's just so interesting, too, with that. I mean, I look at you guys. You're like such a mirror of us. We lived in D2 and been successful, and then bounced up to D1, and then, and got the right athletes in there and went to D1 and had so much success. And so it's been funny to have ran that cycle, and then boom, right behind us came you guys doing that same thing and playing such high-end football. It's just I love it. I love when these homeschool programs and play such good football, and they show up to these invitationals, and it's like the best team there is that homeschool team. And I know we don't cheat. I know we work hard at what we do. I know that we play by really good, sensible rules and still play good football. And, lots of ways that those boys aren't hostage to us. They don't have an athletic period where we can hit the weight room and then run them through the drills. I mean, they've got some advantages we don't even have, but we show up, and so I'm most proud to see,
I think you hit it right there on one thing. We lost last year, Sterling State. Great team. I mean, lots of speed. I mean, just so much speed. We're fast. I mean, I'll never forget before the game, one of the coaches from Garcia, I can't remember, he's like, they're pretty fast this year. And I was thinking to myself, they look fast, and we've got a younger team. We were mostly junior sophomores, but we were pretty darn quick too. Boy, that was just a wonderful game. But it really stretched us in all the ways that we needed to be. But what was amazing about that is we were up most of the game, and in the second half they just excellent coaching job, just wonderful coaching job, just starting to. They realized they're not going to beat us with speed, so they went with strength. and they weren't as, I mean, they were about the same size as us. If you look across the tape, everybody's between 145 and 165. Everybody, and they just went big boy, and they just out-weight roomed us. We didn't have a weight room. I mean, they literally just said, you know what? We spent all summer and all spring in the weight room. And after we lost that game, the last play of the game, and I went in, and I'm very proud of our guys. We were a 45-point dog in that game. Mm-hmm. And I just said, guys, I told you last spring, that we had this on the schedule, that you were going to have to physically get yourself prepared to play big boy football. Well, welcome to big boy football. And they took that to heart. And, they're now in. We've been blessed with having a weight facility now, but they are in it day in, day because they've now become believers. Right? You can't convince a 17-year-old male anything until they experience it, right?
You lived it, and then realize, hey,
I joke because I have a 17-year-old male and a 2-year-old male, and I always tell them the difference between the two because I have them under the same roof is a driver's license. You can scream at it all you want, but if they believe it, they're going to go 100 miles an hour into that brick wall. When you have a group of 15, 18-year-old males, and they finally realize, wow, okay. Because you really do need to be physical in certain games. And speed isn't going to, you run up against teams just as fast as you are, speed's not going to do it. And it wasn't a conditioning. That was we were good. It was not that we ran out of gas because we stayed in the game. Conditioning, you're going to fall out of the game, right? So that's the way it was. They were getting 6, 7 yards, 5 yards every time, right?
Steady as you go, right?
Yeah, right. It was just death by 1,000 lashes because they were just the physicality would get the extra 3 yards every time in 4 yards.
That's Iredell for us. When we play Iredell, they'll do that. They'll line up big against us and just run at us, and it's just he hasn't stayed with it enough. Every game I'm like, I don't even know what to do. Tell you guys right now. Let's just fight, battle, take good angles. We rarely stunt. I'm real big on just know your job, make your read, run the football. Well, against Iredell, we stunt some because they get so physical and so big, and that's not our game. It never really has been. So we struggle with teams like that, with that big physicality. But like I said, we used to have a weight room, and then it was so hard to maintain, and we kept having to move it, which is such a hard, just even dangerous. The stuff weighs so much, and you're moving these big machines, and so I just lost the energy for that, so we ended up kind of losing our weight room. But boy, it's a difference maker. You get a team, especially if you're in TAIAO and you're hitting the weight room, and I think that gives you such an advantage. Over several programs, even like ours, that just don't spend time in the weight room.
That was the one blessing that we, and we'll see. This will be our first year with a real weight program, but I've just seen dividends in spring ball that were just huge. And having been in a weight room in university, and the difference between but the irony is you think you know how to lift weights when you're in high school and you may come out of and I think maybe the programs today have something especially the 5A, 6A schools probably have equivalent. But back when we were playing, they just threw in a universal machine and said,
It was a lot different, man. I was the guy that was in the weight room all summer, and I was very passionate about it, and that's how you got ready for football. You lifted weights, you got ready, and it's been such a different culture in the homeschool with my kids. We just don't have access to one, so we just, it's good. 6-man, you can be fast and get you a long way down the road. We've won a lot of games just because we are fast, but boy, if you can mix in some strength, you are no fun to play against, that's for sure.
We ran into a Medina team 3 years ago that a whole group of seniors had 2 different backfields. Darndest thing ever. So we're tied at tied at halftime. And I looked at the eyes of my guys, and they were done. They just couldn't pound. They were done. And they were all. So this is this crew that we got this year. So I guess this is 3. They were all freshmen, freshmen and sophomores. So I guess it's 2 years ago. Anyway, and they were just not physically not the men that these 17, these bunch of 18-year-olds. I got a bunch of 15 and 16-year-olds going up against a bunch of 18-years-olds. And that's a huge difference, right? Physicality. And then they start the second half with a different backfield. Same.
That's great.
This goes back to our D1 versus D2. We're D2. We got 12 guys. And it was... It was brutal.
One more quick story before we leave it. We were getting in the state championship 2 years ago. And this was our best team we'd ever had. I thought we had speed everywhere and athleticism, and we were getting ready to play the Lubbock Titans in the finals. And I'd watched the video, and they played Feast the week before, and they just had outrun them. They had a couple fast players at Lubbock, and I was talking to Michael Dagger after. I just love Michael. He's the best. But he's like, man, playing them last week. He's like. They're fast. They're really fast. And he, I kind of like, and he said, he's like, they're just so fast, and I thought, well, they've got a game plan, and I think we're fast too. I think we match up good. I think it's going to be good. I think our speed is going to be, my plan was to overwhelm their speed with ours, because we just had more speed across the board, and it was just the funnest game I've ever been part of as far as for our side of it. But it was just really kind of a speed on speed, but we just used our speed so well. I just remember that conversation, and I sat there thinking, man, I hope that he's kind of wrong and I'm kind of right. That we're going to be okay in this deal, because they were so fast, But it was a great game for us. That was probably the signature game, one of them for our program.
Yeah,
it was that game. But
that was a good game.
I only got to see the first half because we were playing after that. But live, I said that was good. That was a really great team. I wish defensively, and let's just kind of I'll end here, because you and I both defensively, you had an incredibly good defense that year. Not that you don't every year, but that year, your ability to break down an opposing team's spread back was just uncanny. I don't think there were times on film, at least that I saw, that when you were coming up the field, they were always under control. That the Q on the other side always had to have his eyes down on the guys rushing. He couldn't get outside one of them. So give me a little bit about what's your approach defensively, because we play a lot of spread teams. I mean, it's just that's what is your thought process? And we'll get some of this on film, but I'd like to get on the audio. But defensively, that's where I think the teams that are, I don't care if it's Garden City, I don't care if it's Spring Springs, what separates isn't the offense. I mean, when you're beating somebody 65-0, the nothing's the part.
Right, the impressive number.
Yeah. It's not the 65. It's not, like you said earlier, 112-98. That doesn't impress me. What impresses me is 85-0, because I know that was over at halftime. And the other team does get four down, gets the ball four times.
Right. Yeah. Well, so that team was a great example, actually. That year, that's 2 years ago. We went, I think it was 5 straight games where we scored a touchdown on every offensive possession that we had. And going into that state championship, we threw an interception in that game. Quarterback got hit as he threw it. That's the first time we hadn't scored, I think, in like 5.5 games on offense. But that team, to me, was still great because of the defense. And our goal for that state championship was to win because of our defense. It's interesting to see where I started coaching defense 8 years ago to where I am now. I mean, 8 years ago, it was kind of like, well, I think what we want to do is this, I think what we want to do is that. To now, it's very detailed. It's, your job is this, and your job is that, and you roll here. My theory, I start with, what does the offense like to do? What do they want to do? We're going to stop that.
Yeah.
We're for sure going to stop that. If a team likes to, throw the ball deep, then they're not going to beat us throwing the ball deep. If they have a spread back who likes to run the ball a lot, then we're going to make sure that he's not running the ball a lot. And so, in that game they had a couple players, that could hurt you really bad. I mean, so our defense was based around, knowing those plays, reading those plays, and responding to them. There's so many good spread backs we play. I don't hesitate to put some of my very, very best athletes spread rushing. Yeah. And you got to stop that guy. I've always felt like when we're all running spread and they let my spread back loose running, they're in some serious trouble. It's the worst place to be when those spread backs are upfield. That spread rusher, that the spread rushers upfield, the spread back is popped through there. You're in a bad spot. So we make sure that doesn't happen. But we work as a unit, and it's real big on everybody knowing where they belong. I preach, do your job. So many times, guys try to reach outside of their toolbox and their spot and go and try to support something else, or they get a little lazy and they'll float to the wrong spot. I have no patience for that. Do your job.
Yeah, that's funny. I need you to come talk to me. I'm a little more passionate than you are practice, probably. But that's about, I think if you had to, all the words I say, it probably is 50%. Those 3 words are 50% of what I say at practice. It's a team sport. You just got to get the individual.
And I give you examples of where it only takes one guy. I mean, we ended up losing this last year, and Fort Bend didn't do one thing that I did not anticipate. They did not do one thing in that game that surprised me. We just didn't execute as a team. One guy here out of position, one guy there. Don't give up the edge. I mean, when we get a guy that's running, I mean, we work on a system on how to corral guys into, funnel them to your teammates, and we're letting guys run down the sidelines. Those are the details that either make a defense great or will cause you to lose a game. And typically we walk away from saying that's why our defense is great. Against Fort Bend, I walked away saying, well, that's why we lost, guys. You have to take care of those details, and not just your 2 best guys or your 4 best guys. If all 6 guys are doing their thing, and what you saw in that state championship 2 years ago was that it was that perfect moment where it all came together. And there's a play in that game where they try to run a sweep to our left. Of course, the spread rusher, it's his job to keep the edge. There's a textbook job. Fights off a block, keeps the edge. The backside spread rusher, he plays the cutback. He's there so he can't cut back. The guy tries to cut back, there he is. He tries to go down the middle, well, their linebacker is filled. We played it perfectly, so he decides he's going to throw it, which was the right thing to do. It was a run play all the way, so the guy who pitched him the ball, he kind of just released quietly into the backfield off the opposite side. Well, I have a safety that kind of plays a short zone when they swoop away. We call it Bama, is the name of the defense. And he dumps it back across that side where that guy had been lingering and saw that guy release, catches it in the backfield, makes a tackle for loss. That offense had to think, oh my gosh, they're everywhere, covering everybody. And, I wish I could say I coached that kid to be, but it was just that instinct and just that trust in what you see and running the football. And that game was loaded with moments like that where it's just like, wow, that's some good defense. I mean,
so actually that's probably a good place for us to break. So Coach is going to do this on the backside of this, which is where we go into film. For those of you that are on the podcast portion of our program, it ends here. I've always asked if you're on SoundCloud to like, share, distribute. I don't know. I don't do this stuff much, but I'm told to say all that. And so if you would, otherwise on YouTube, that's where you can pick up with the second part of this episode where we get with Coach Braun and do a little bit of film. So we'll see you all in a few minutes.